if you are anything like me, you too have fallen into the trap, the binge watching of Pop the Balloon. I believe her name is Arlette. Hopefully I'm saying it right. I love that show. I love it for many reasons. I love it just to see how complex human interaction is, how our judgments are at play, how our assumptions are at play, how we challenge our values, how we really stay true to our values, how we bend on our wants and our needs, right? Like, I love the show. And so after consuming like probably 7 hours of content not too long ago, still got to catch up. I'm so behind. I started thinking like, dang, like this is the world of dating. Thank goodness we don't have balloons in like first dates. I'm too sensitive for that. However, it started getting me thinking like, how can we really like cut things off as quickly as possible when we know for sure this is not a line? And popping the balloon on situationships is how I got here. So I want to tell you a story. Of course, I know we're all here for the stories. I want to tell you a story of when I was in a situationship when I thought I was in a potential long-term relationship. And again, I have my notes here because I want to make sure I say everything I want to say. So, it's another man from the West Coast with the. I need to give people nicknames. Maybe we'll call him Delta. Maybe no, that's not a good one. Well, listen, this is the LA story. We'll put it like that. So this guy, we went to college together. We kind of stayed in contact with each other. There was like some flirting in college, but then not really. And our lives happened to cross paths again because I was in LA visiting my sister at the time, and him and I hung out. So now when we were hanging out, he was like all about me, showing me around, as someone would do. And at some point in the night, he started really talking about like him and I, like, oh yeah, I want to come see you in Seattle. I can fly out there to come see you. I would like to talk to you more frequently. I know, really want us to date, like things like that, right? And I'm like, oh, okay, he really wants to like date each other, really get to know each other now that we're no longer in college. Like, let's really spend some time getting to know each other. When I got back home, I think we spoke that day. He was even trying to see me in the airport before I left. I was at work that day. And then I think within like 3 days, like 3 days later, I had brought up like, okay, so when are you gonna, come out here? Because Seattle to LA is easily 2 hours. Like, it's not even anything difficult to traverse to. Like, it's just what we do. And he was like, oh, I think you misunderstood what I was saying. I wasn't trying to do anything serious right now. I just wanted to like have fun, with you. Basically like keep it casual. And I was like, wait a minute. Like, I'm not saying I have the best memory in the world. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that I'm a baby elephant. And so I remember quite a few things. And so when he said that, I was like, wait, what? Like, confused. Like, it literally made me feel like maybe I was with someone else the whole night. Like, it was, or you're just totally just confused, just like blindsided. So yeah, that happened. And it was really disappointing when I realized, oh, yet again, here I am again with another situationship that's not progressing. Like, what signs did I miss? You start internalizing it. You believe it's all your fault, right? So the purpose of this episode is I want to help you recognize earlier signs than I did of a situationship, right? I want you to avoid getting too entangled. I want you to trust your instincts, your intuition, your gut, however you want to name it. I cannot stress that enough. Like, literally, if there's a way I could like create a workshop or something on how to help us connect to our intuition, I will figure that out. And as soon as I do, I'll let you know, because I think it's so important, right? Trust your instinct, your intuition when deal breakers show up. Don't be afraid of your deal breakers. Like the people on Pop the Balloon. Pop. Oh, you got kids? Pop. Oh, you're a smoker? Pop. You don't believe in God? Pop. Like, some people are really about their deal breakers, right? And you can too. So again, let's define what a situationship is. So it's a relationship that basically lacks commitment or clear direction, often leaving you feeling uncertain or confused, right? You're constantly not knowing which way is up. You're constantly not knowing where you two are. You constantly don't even know if you're any closer to the desire, the level of commitment, exclusivity, monogamy, whatever, right? Like you're no closer to that. It's just a situationship. Yet we do all the things as people would do if they were in a committed long-term relationship. So why are they so common? Like, why is everyone in situationships? Honestly, situationships have been around for a long time. Now, of course, I don't know what they were looking like before I was born, but hearing stories from older people, sounds like situationships have been here, and I don't think they're going to go anywhere anytime soon or ever. Because again, like I don't think all situationships are bad. I just think when it's actually not what we really want and we're in it, that's when it's unhealthy. So they're so common because a lot of us have fear of commitment, period. Right? Same. Like that's why I'm always moving hence like where I want to live. Which with that, using myself as an example, it's a deeper thing. Like where do I feel most connected? Where do I feel most respected? Where do I feel like most I can be myself and all the things that line up? And you cannot find the perfect place to live, nor can you find the perfect partner to have. Also, situationships are so common because of emotional unavailability, right? And that's on both sides. It's not just from the guy emotionally unavailable. We too can be emotionally unavailable. If you ever hit someone up just to like, get that little kick of some flirtation or just to be complimented, right? But you really don't want to date them like that. You don't want to be their girlfriend. You don't want to go see them. You just wanted this quick little phone call to boost you up. And that was it. And afterwards, you were like, "Oh, got that," and then you get annoyed that they're calling you every day. And you're like, "I don't want you to call me every day. I just wanted that. I just wanted that Monday afternoon." you know or simply it's just a convenience. Like situationships are easy to come by. I like you, you like me, I think you're attractive, you think I'm attractive, I want to have sex, you want to have sex, I want no strings attached, cool, great, let's just hang out, let's do this for 2 weeks to 6 months, and we'll just kind of fade away, right? It's easy. It's just like pick something up, hang out with it. It's like fostering a dog or something. You just pick up a dog, foster, it's not going to be forever. We can move on. All I see what else is out here. That's where I'm coming from. The thing about situationships though is it's an emotional toll, like for real. So again, feeling confused. That was I was always confused, and then always talk about it and made me anxious because confusion usually is hand in hand with anxiety, right? It plummets. It gets just pop, like, oh, look at that pop. It really takes major hits at your self-esteem, like continuously. And it's really hard to get out of that. It's really hard to be like, I am important, I am lovable, because at the bottom of this, underneath it all, it's a lot of like, I don't deserve love, I don't deserve relationships, I'm unlovable, I'm unworthy, right? So that's the reason that I want us to really like acknowledge, if you don't want a situationship, let's acknowledge it early on and we can do something about it. So the next part of all of this is I want you to recognize the signs of a situationship, right? Number one, lack of clarity and consistency. Again, confusion. So, example, vague future planning, right? So, oh gosh, I remember many times where I've tried to plan something with a guy and we make dinner plans and, well, let's do something next week. Okay, yeah, next week. Let's do something next week, he would say. Okay, well, what day? Oh, well, let me get back to you on the day because I don't really know my schedule right now. You don't know your schedule right now? Okay. But I wait because I'm like, oh, I'm just so happy to be chosen in this moment. And then we would, move on. And Monday comes, Tuesday comes, Wednesday. And I'm like, hey, so when do you want to get dinner? Oh, maybe Friday, but I have to check because, I got some plans with my friends. And so I'll have to get back to you. You get it. You get it. It's the inconsistent communication. It's the reluctance to define what we are actually doing with each other. So again, lack of clarity and consistency. Another thing that kind of came to light to me a few years later, I guess, same, yeah. Something I didn't really pay attention to until I was, a little bit more removed from college, is there's not really any integration into their lives, right? Maybe you're a secret. Maybe you're a mistress or something. Or and if not, you can still be a secret when that person isn't married. You're never meeting their friends. These are red flags. You're never meeting their friends or their family. Uh, people don't even know you exist. There's ways to find that out subtly. You're only hanging out in private. I did that. I didn't even realize I was only hanging out with this person in private. I had no idea. I just thought we both wanted privacy to be with each other, but no, girl, it was because you were a secret. Uh, them disappearing during important moments in your life. There was one guy where I hooked up with when I was Vegas is such a place for me, but yeah, one guy I hooked up with when I was in Vegas, and we hung out almost every day, and I was there for like almost a week, and we were talking about seeing each other and all that good stuff. Literally, as he's getting on the plane, he's like, "Hey, I have to let you know that I'm married, so I'm gonna have to delete your number." Send, done, boom. I was like, what? You know, before you ask, no, he was not wearing a wedding ring. So I didn't, never thought to ask, hey, just out of curiosity, do you happen to be married, not wearing your ring? Oh my gosh. Right. So just thinking about that. Also, another sign of a situationship is non-committal behavior. So avoiding serious conversations. Oh my gosh. That was a majority of my dating experience. Looking back, I'm just like, dang girl, I wish someone would have pulled you to the side and said, hey, seriously, this is not a relation. This is not how relationships go. Let me really help you. So yeah, avoiding serious conversations, keeping things surface level. I know you've been there. You try to take things deeper. How do you feel about me? Or you might be a little passive aggressive, maybe a little more passive, and you might ask, what's on your mind? What are you thinking about? You're really trying to go deeper, and they just kind of keep avoiding the conversation, avoiding the talk. Just surface level. Talk about the game, talk about the movie, talk about the music. But you want to talk about us and what we're doing if we're going to see each other this summer? Can't talk about it. I don't know right now. Or let's not be serious right now. Let's just enjoy each other's company. Avoiding, right? All avoiding. Never planning beyond the next date. I even had an ex that we would see each other every 2 weeks, about every 2 weeks. But he only wanted to plan the next date or the next time we would see each other like 2 weeks later. Like great, crazy. If my boyfriend was giving me situationship, non-committal vibes. Anyways, so with all of that being said, just really focusing on, or at least reflecting on your current or past relationships to see if any of these signs are present. I'm sure you already can name some of them now. Okay. So again, back to like the pop the balloon moments, like those gut feelings, those like pop, not gonna work, pop, not for me, pop, no, I said no to this. And I told myself the next time I meet a guy like this, I would say no, right? Like trusting those gut moments, feelings that something's off, but you ignore it because of the attraction, or you feel hopeless, right? Or hopefulness. What I'm trying to say is you ignore it because you want to be chosen. You want to leave the dark, dank world of the single girl, right? Even though it's not even like all that scary over here. Just you just want to get off the streets. You want to be in the home with someone, even if it's not really truly what you want. So again, discovering your deal breakers early on. Like, so example, my one of my biggest deal breakers, period, is I do not want to have children. It's never happening. So if you want children, especially biological, with me for yourself, I'm not the person for you. Not saying I would not be with someone with kids. I've done that before. I'm saying she, me, her doesn't want children. So that's a deal breaker. So like, what are some of yours? You know, also realizing if the person isn't emotionally available, they are, um, again, not able to go deep. Also, are you ignoring compatible values, right? If, like on the show, some people really, really want to date another Christian person. Maybe for you, you can identify as Christian and this person can identify as Muslim, or a different religion, right? And that doesn't bother you. However, if you feel like your values are incompatible, let's do something about that and not ignore it because they're just so damn cute. Or he's so successful, he has a job, or, I love his style, or, like, yeah, like overlooking you. You're basically overlooking yourself. You're basically in valuing yourself when you do that. Trust me, I've been there. So, ignoring deal breakers. We don't want to do that. I want you to not ignore the signs. I want you to lean into understanding, how do I continue to sign up for situationships that these men have all my deal breakers. And so challenge that, like, fear of being alone, challenge the hoping you can change the person's mind, hoping you can change their values, hoping you can change their wants and needs, their level of commitment, right? Like, it's a waste of time. It's only going to hit you in your self-esteem pockets, and it's going to, then you'll need me, right? Then you need therapy, then you need coaching, like, right? Like, we don't have to keep hurting ourselves, basically. Okay. So again, trust your gut, recognize that these moments are signals to pause, reflect, reassess, and not just like bulldoze and be like, okay, oh, I can change them. And it's okay if we don't have my biggest things that I value. It's okay. We don't want the same things in the really big way. I'm just going to stick around and, later on he'll change and we'll be good to go. No, baby, no, don't do it. I'm usually not this direct. As I'm working with clients, as I'm reading books about things, like, the longer we stay in these patterns, trust and believe, you will burn out. You will just take whatever, and it'll be so much harder to undo this norm that you have created for yourself. Also, because I've been there. Okay. So, okay, next part. So let's talk about how to avoid getting entangled, because it's seductive, man. Oof. Mm-mm-mm. Set boundaries early. Don't be afraid to set boundaries. Like, we all need boundaries. Boundaries are to protect ourselves. So I want you to think about, how can I set a clear boundary? I want you to be upfront about that boundary in the beginning. Talk about goals early on. I'm not saying first date, here's the interview, here's my boundaries, boo boo, here's where I'm coming from, it needs to be this. I'm just saying, what your boundaries are. If you, again, let's use the kid example. If you, again, meet someone, first date, second date, in conversation, if kids come up and they're like, yeah, I want 4 kids, and you're like me, I want none. Are we are we respecting ourselves? Are we in that boundary, right? Are we like, oh, it's okay, because maybe no. I want you to stay true to your non-negotiables. So know what your non-negotiables are and stick with them, even if it means walking away. No, I know. I can envision myself meeting someone hot. Maybe I travel to Italy and I meet this hot ass Italian man, and I'm just like, yes, whatever it takes, right? And then he says, he wants children, or maybe he says he's struggling with substance, or maybe he never wants to stop doing like hard drugs, right? And I was just like, oh, he's so cute. I'm just gonna hang out. I'm just gonna have some fun. No, me, my hanging out, have some fun turns into a year, and then 2, and then 3. So I know myself enough to know it's best for me to walk away, and maybe I'll go to the next block and meet another hot Italian man. So basically, you want to keep communicating openly with yourself, I would say first, and then with others, right? Advocate for having open conversations about intentions. Why not? Why not? If they're not trying to be evasive or elusive and like, I don't want to talk about anything serious, then great. Me offering to have an open conversation about intentions and expectations at some point in this dating experience. Again, it doesn't have to be first or second date, just somewhere along. Then that tells us what we need to know, right? You don't want to go there. You don't want to go deep. Cool. We're not on the same page. We're not the same vibe, not same value, not same intentions. Great. Thank you for showing me that now. and I'm gonna bounce, right? So again, having these conversations is a tool for clarity, not to scare someone off, not to be like, oh, I can't be chosen. It's just to, I know you, I know you want to have a filter system. I know you want to narrow people out who aren't meant for you. This is the way to see who's not meant for you. Nothing wrong with you. You like to have deep conversations. They don't. So what are we going to do? Someone's going to have to concede. If you can't meet in the middle, someone's going to have to concede. And I'm tired of you adjusting yourself for someone else. Okay. Coming in with heat today. Got things to say. All right. Also, it's what I was just saying, really about accepting the reality of the whole thing of this, right? It's so important to accept the truth of the situation instead of holding on to hope that things will magically change. I know you've been there. I know I've been there. Most of my, not even most, all of my 20s, 20 to 29, I've been there. Thinking it was going to change, thinking that change was, just around the river bend, okay? Like literally not accepting the truth, just continuing to wait it out, continuing to thug it out. And it didn't change. But what happened? My self-esteem took a hit. I can't express this enough. Like, no, we're not doing it. We're not doing it. There are so many ways to attack our self-esteem, and this is just, okay. Also, it's so important to have self-compassion and healing for yourself. I want you to be kind to yourself. I want you to give yourself grace, right? When you end a situationship, I want you to allow yourself time to grieve. Some people will be like, a situationship isn't a real relationship. Oh, but it is. But it is, right? There are still conversations, there are still feelings. If you're having sex, there's that chemistry happening, chemical stuff happening, exchange. There's empty promises, there's memories, there's vacations, there's all kind of stuff in situationships. So allow yourself time to grieve, right? Before we turn around the next day and do something really toxic, which if you do, I won't judge you because I've been there before. I've done that many times. Focus on growth. Focus on, what did I learn from that? How do I want to do things differently? How do I want to take care of myself differently? Stay grounded, right? Stay close to your friendships, getting to hobbies. A lot of times, if you're in a situationship and you don't want to be what you say for all the reasons we already talked about, you're so far from yourself when the situationship is over, because for the past 6 months, 2 years, 3 years, 5, 10 years, you have just been trying to find different ways to get that person to choose you. So you kept giving different versions, change yourself, adjusting yourself. We don't have to do that anymore. Focus on yourself. Come back to self, right? So again, walking away is a sign of strength. It's a sign of self-respect, for damn sure. And it's perfectly okay to prioritize your happiness. You can prioritize your happiness and also blend in dating. Also, just the same way you blend in your friendships, right? Like all of this can be happening. So again, like always, if you need help working through this, which I know some of you do, because baby, I did too, hit me up. Let's talk. Let's chat. We can connect. We can do coaching. We can do therapy, like whatever you want to do. So you can get some clarity, so you can strengthen up your boundaries and hopefully avoid situationships if you don't want to be in one. Because again, if you want it, go forth. Just be protected, right? Like just think about things. So again, if you want to work with me, you know how to find it. Link in the show notes. Hit me up. We can go from there. And yeah, I look forward to talking to you. And like always, I believe in you. Pop these balloons for these situationship red signs. You got this. Okay? Until next time.